seen that.
You're going crazy out there.
Yeah, man, you gotta chill out.
All kinds of different.
He was out there with my guy. What's his name? Bobby Schmurder.
Bobby Schmurder.
That's what we talking about.
Didn't ask him about you and his zesty controversy.
No, you should have.
I didn't want to make it about you.
No, man, we just had a conference call for like an hour.
When? Before I was there or after?
Before, like 2 weeks. Like 2 3 weeks ago.
What are you guys talking about?
Business.
Really?
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna do together?
I'm trying to work something out, do something with it.
He put zesty allegations on him.
No, we talked about it, and what did he do? He agreed and laughed.
He does move around kind of crazy. Like he's just like he takes like huge steps. He's like laughing his ass off at 1 second. He's just such a huge personality.
Well, he understood why I said what I said.
Okay.
Because remember, he said I learned how to dance like this in prison, and I'm like, whoa. Your type of dance, if I understand your culture, that's for women. You ain't supposed to learn how to dance like that in prison. When I said, he started laughing.
I mean, you don't think of people doing a lot of sensual dancing
in prison.
Yeah, it's funny.
But knowing his crazy ass, see how you said he was walking? Bobby Schmurder was probably really running around the yard just burnt out.
Right.
You know, we gotta remember, think about his first viral moment. You remember it?
The hat being thrown up in the air.
No, well, the one I remember is when he went to meet the label.
Right,
He jumped up on the goddamn conference table and went crazy.
That's what you gotta do. You gotta dance for these crackers if you want to get fried.
And that,
what's going on, guys?
just so y'all know, R&B brought him his gift.
Yeah, just so you know, I'm strapped up. You better watch out. I'm gonna use this on you. Pause.
He just ran all the street niggas out the room.
Get slept.
Yeah, man. So,
I'm gonna bring this to my next interview.
Yeah, but no, I see we like 3 weeks ago. And like, you know what, I gotta get back on that, because I gotta put together something for him, what we gonna do for him.
Okay.
But we talk, we don't talk.
I mean, some people were saying, and he made it sound like it was kind of normal for him to be out in this environment, but some people were definitely saying that this was the first time that he had been out and about in Brooklyn on the street in quite a while. So
that's good.
Very rare content right there, I think.
She shouldn't be.
Well, I mean, I feel like from his perspective, probably not what he wants to be doing every day, but he was moving around very appropriately.
I mean, you know, you got a team out there, we got respected out there, so. But I seen you, so what were you on video or song?
So, while I was out there, I did a nice lengthy Mayo interview, which did ask him about you, kind of laughed it off, choose to be,
You know, I got him. He admits it.
Got
him. I kind of like, he admitted it to Vlad. He like, yo, dude's good. He got me, I like my character to a point where he was in control of the conversation. And looking back at it, he like, dude was like really had me out of my skin.
Okay. We didn't get too deep into it, but okay, I did a Mano interview, then we went to the Patterson Projects in the Bronx with King Pill and Shay Davis, Bob DiGiuno, etc. Shot the remix to King Pill's Slide First song out there with what appeared to be, maybe like 100 Bloods. So that was fun. I've never seen anybody film anything in those packages, so that was kind of rare.
They called me a couple weeks ago.
Yeah?
But I didn't have no combo for him.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, I didn't appreciate what he said about Blueface.
What did he say about?
He said some weird shit on Cam Capone.
Something that he didn't like about Blueface.
Yeah, he said something we ran into him in jail and, made some comments about his appearance that I felt was disrespectful. Especially to me. That's my client, that's my little nephew. It's like my little brother.
But you were pushing the Gino thing before.
See, that's my point. See, this is what I mean about these dudes don't understand politics. It's like, you can't do certain things. It's like, you could have interviewed and just said I ran into Blueface. And then like you ran into him and then you did something to him and ran him, but oh man, he jumped off the bed, he had bad skin, he had this, he had that. It's like, I didn't get it, I didn't understand it. Especially when a whole lot of politics on him was going on, I was kind of like, I defended him. But to each his own. So I'm gonna let him do his thing and shit. You know how it goes. Just learn his way to rock.
Really? Damn. So he's out of the Whack 100.
I mean, it's just, I can't. At the end of the day, I gotta holler at my client and see how he feel about that.
Okay.
Because you know I did that with love and respect. Where he from, Lil John. Look, him and Lil John neighborhood's been getting into it for decades, but we still did that. So my thing is that some people, I don't think people understand this world ain't ran on right or wrong. It's ran on politics. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if somebody's tied to you, and I know they tied to you, right? I know I got to deal with that a certain way. It ain't even about them. It's like, you going to be like, yo, Whack, you know that's my guy. You know what I'm saying? You know Whack, you know he fucking works and no jumper, right? So, I get you checking the situation, but out of respect to me, him,
Okay.
you should have dealt with it, or maybe not dealt with it. You know what I mean?
It was kind of crazy to me in the projects in the Bronx with Bumpton, which I never expected to be a thing. He's fresh off the plane. He literally like flies to us, and then boom, we're in the Bronx. He's never been in New York. I don't know how many places he's been outside of LA, but not someone I ever knew that I was going to be doing such things with. So it was pretty exciting. To
You know, I see, I was wilding.
Hit a J3 came out.
Did he?
Yeah. So we're doing a whole lot of blood stuff. I'm in the car. We're talking about blood stuff. And one thing that came about that I thought was kind of interesting is that so on the Sly first song, King Pill is dissing all his Pomona ops. Now,
Trey 5-7 and all that.
there are dudes out there that the derogatory term for them is trucks. Another derogatory term, tramps. Basically, words that are also used to disparage gangs out here.
Yeah, that
But
did
they mean very different things here and there, I guess. So there's a lot of conversations about maybe some of the disses would be muted in the actual song. I don't know.
You can't.
A lot of stuff.
Well, if you in the area, I mean, they don't want disrespecting them in their area. I don't know. You know, I know what those things mean out here. But like, even King Pill, like I know him as a different individual.
You knew him before he mastered the internet.
I knew him when he was trying to, when he was first making his attempts. I never met him personally, but he paid me to work his stuff on my page.
Very nice guy, very cool dude. I like King Pill a lot.
He was a total different guy.
Oh yeah, he's coming out here in a couple weeks. Would you like to have him on this podcast? I think that we should probably do that.
Who?
King Pill. Me, you, and King Pill.
Nah, I don't know him.
Why?
I gotta sit back, see what's going on.
But he bangs the Pete like yourself.
Nah, but that ain't. Here goes the thing when he I don't know what he bang. I can't say where he from, where he ain't from.
He is from 456 Island
I call it 4-5 Bix.
Oh.
You know, I did a lot of time. Shout out to Don Don. Did a lot of time with them dudes. On that side, you got Long Beach down below, because next is Orange County. After them is San Bernardino County. And then they go way up to like Lancaster and shit.
And they're the only non-Crip hood, or like the only
The only guy moves in from all.
Yeah.
Got Trey 5-7. They got a lot of Hispanic, some serious Hispanic game out there to promote 12th Street
So
Shore.
they call him the Island Pirates. I think obviously I'm like watching some
But
information.
I don't know him. I don't know him. I really ain't. I don't know him. Something going on with him in 600. I don't know what. Maybe some trouble.
600 wants to fight him.
Does he?
Basically, because King Pill, we're trying to set up a boxing match with him before action.
Nah, that's too quick. That's too quick.
Why?
Clout chaser.
Why?
Because that's what he's doing.
You think it's too quick for King Pill? He hasn't earned it yet?
Yeah, all of them dudes, I'm gonna keep it real. All of them dudes, when 4Extra, when you set 4Extras down here, when 4Extra started to do his jail shit, right? When you look up, all of them started to follow the 4Extra train.
I would say there's a lot of other influences as well, but 4Extra has been a big influence. I feel like FYBJ Main.
No.
Crip Mac.
No.
In terms of like showing dudes how to
We talking about
turn it up and get it.
No. We're talking about Four Extras came out and dominated us with the jail fight stories.
Okay.
King Pill started doing the same shit after what he was talking
Aaron
about.
Plummer starts doing the
He
same
started
thing.
talking about squabbling in jail and whatever. I don't know to what extent. I just heard a few things. And the reason is, the thing about it, the difference between him and Four Extras to me is, when I met Four Extras, he was what he was. But my first introduction to King Pill was somebody totally different. You know what I'm
So
saying?
you feel like he's playing a character?
I definitely think he's playing a character. I'm not saying that he ain't from where he's from, but I know it's some character in there because the first person he was a different character. And I probably wouldn't have really paid any attention until I went back and seen that he deleted his whole page of that character. Because if that was just what it was, because he was always into his music. But he used to like,
But he said he's living around for 6 months.
Let me tell you something, but he contacted my woman. She got the shit.
Oh.
Right? I ain't no denying nothing.
Okay.
He paid us to push it up. I didn't know he was a guy move, powerful. He know where I'm from. Never like said that. But that's cool. Maybe he was just doing his marketing and promoting. But he was a different guy with that. And maybe he was just promoting his, it was about his music, but he was a different guy. But I just felt like, for me, going through what I went through the last 6 months, you let these dudes in, let them in to get too close to you too fast, they story this and that, then you look up and invite you in the ass.
Yeah, it's kind of the basis of my entire business. So just give these dudes like opportunities and then whatever happens happens. And I've definitely seen the negative side of that.
Yeah, but I bet you this. You ain't seen me do that. That's not what I
Look what you did with Bruce Cannon.
What I do with Lucy, I knew that was what it was.
You discovered a random psychopath. You took him under your wing. You brought him on a whole shitload of podcasts. You built him up from basically nobody to somebody who was very well known.
And what did he do?
And then at a certain point, you turned your back on him / he turned his back on you.
I turned my back on him.
Well, it's kind of debatable about who exactly you was first.
He thought he was. They all think he been through this.
I think they're bigger on the program.
They figured like they don't need you, and then they could. Right then they realized that the light only hit you because you was on the side of you. I mean,
I still have never really had a host who really like became bigger than me or the platform itself after me.
yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's probably not gonna ever happen.
I know Brendan Schaub is a comedian who has like a similar thing at a certain point where he was bringing in all these different hosts and stuff. Like one of them was Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn News becomes one of the biggest comedians in the world. That would be both a good feeling in the sense of like, look, I can actually blow somebody up, and a bad feeling because you helped to blow them up,
Yeah,
and then they go on to become ridiculously successful.
Yeah,
You're
shout
not
out to King Peel. I gotta watch it a little bit. See what it really is and really what it's about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I haven't called over there and asked none of the homies. I ain't.
Part of King Phil's thing is that he knows that commitment to the bit is important. So he's out in New York and he's wearing the all camo outfit with the red bandana everywhere, multiple days in a row. And then finally on the last day, he comes through and he's wearing like a Prada fit or some shit. And I'm like, oh, okay, I've hung out with you long enough that you've actually given up on wearing the same outfit every day, which I honestly think is pretty smart in terms of building an image of people's minds.
Yeah, like I will say this. From where he came from, what he was trying to do, I guess maybe it wasn't working for him. I guess he just said, shit, I can tell them stories too. And I guess he jumped in that lane and, hey, it's working for it. You know, continue to do what you do. No disrespect, but I gotta really like get a feel for people that I'm sitting with now. Especially because I know once we sit with them, I know what it's gonna do for them. And really, it's kind of like these days you look up and find yourself and you can identify with this empowering and building your own out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's been a whole lot of scandals going on in the building.
Yeah, some scandals. Namely the suspect scandal.
Yeah, y'all know I left you up.
So I was on the road in the group chat when we said Adam's not going to be here on Tuesday. Who are we going to have on the Tuesday show? Lush says I can get Brandon the suspect to sit down.
Lush denied that.
Lush is a liar.
Lush
Definitely always says
said Josh did it. Did I not call Lush R&B? I said, hey bro, I'm here. Why did you do that? You knew what that was. He said it wasn't me, it was Josh. I swear to God.
I mean, I guess there's some percentage chance that I can just be forgetting, but I'm pretty sure that was Lush's idea before anybody else.
Yeah, I was like, but see, then I gotta put it on suspect because you know where you at with that. He shouldn't have did it. Then somebody was telling me he didn't know until he got there. Said, I was lying.
He knew. He might have only found out that day because he saw the flyer on Instagram and him tagging it. Because that's the thing. Bad timing, but he got another number. So I guess Josh had been texting a few days beforehand being like, yo, so you're good? This is all good? We were smart enough to have security there. Who knows what would have happened if there wasn't security there? Maybe Aunt Hefe would have had to leap into action.
And gonna mind his business.
But that was the funny. I mean,
Munchie B was hilarious.
Munchie B jumped up. You didn't even see it. The security camera, his feet, he hops up on the chair like.
Baby, did I not screen record it? We laughed about that. I said, listen, y'all can say what y'all want about Munchie B, goddammit. I don't know if he felt emotion around it, but he knew to get out the way and save the boys.
Yeah.
He got
That's probably what he was thinking about.
now he got listen, I see before he got out, you know, Ed was gonna make sure he was straight anyway, but I feel like some situations I can look at something and I can see what's going on. And when you got somebody in the building who has their mind set on proving a point and moving people out the way, that's a dangerous person. He's dangerous towards the people in the building, and he's dangerous for the building. Because you can look up at 3-4 people did something to where they didn't move themselves out the way, and now it's hurting the building. He think he's doing something good. Yeah, I got this. You see, I got this. And I really think he on that type of mission. This is why I told you, and I told Rush, told all of them, hey, listen, dude doing his thing and all that, he's on some other shit, and he's playing a dangerous game. Because he's playing, I'm going to play it my way, but then when you start playing it your way, other people play it their way, but then at the drop of a dime, you go to civilian. You gotta like, bro, like even you would tell yourself, we could have done without you screaming that.
But all you can do
If the security is there in the alley, you gotta scream that.
But okay, you're saying that he basically was a huge asshole to suspect to the point where he was basically baiting him to flashing out.
It was late because mentally he knew suspect couldn't handle. His mind is geared towards, I don't care what you say to me.
Well, but he has that confidence because he's a black belt.
You don't give a fuck about that. That black belt don't mean shit. Get your ass blacked out.
Well, in a physical conversation, it means a lot.
Shit don't mean nothing.
You don't mean anything. You think that
I guarantee
you can find something like, okay, if we cloned you, the clone was a jiu-jitsu black belt, you think that you and the clone would be evenly matched. I think you're very confused about how that works.
You should understand. I bet if that security would have been in here, I guarantee you would have saw what it is. See, look, this ain't no fair fight. Right? Nothing you know he's dealing with, and we gonna come prepared to deal with it. Right? So what dude gotta understand is that in his world, yes, you can call the police, and yes, you can make a police report. But see, all that usually happens after it happens. So he needs to factor in, do I play this game to a point to push an individual to play in their game? Because you can do all that if you're alive. Right? Dude might still take his hit, but now you gotta think about like, yo, do you think it's healthy or wise to play the game you're playing and push an individual the way you're pushing them and not understand where this could go? Even with you, I pushed you, but I know by reading your posture, I know by reading your eyes, you're gonna get off the gas. Because we're potting, right? I know it. I know why if you keep pushing what you can, this shit's gonna blow up. So you gotta have that type of camaraderie, especially everybody in that news is supposed to be together, bro. They gonna have their classes or whatever. You supposed to know off the gas.
Oh yeah, but
He's looking at people in there like they're the enemy.
I've seen Brandon debate with Suspect, myself, the racist dude, I hypocrite, a few different people, and it's like the energy that ended up transpiring with Almighty was just a completely different level, because if you've ever argued with Almighty, you know that he is one of the most aggressive, confrontational arguers on the face of the planet. So ultimately, I think Brandon ended up trying to kind of have that energy. I don't think Brandon typically in a fight like calls somebody a he felt like, at a certain point, the conversation ratcheted up in terms of intensity to the point where that felt
This
fair.
is when I knew he was baiting. Brandon not a stupid dude. He's book smart. He knows what he knows. Right? He's not a dumb dude. Can't take your nephew back to the alley. He can't do it. He kept doing it. And the whole world, right at that point in time, you got triggers.
Oh yeah.
I know your triggers, right? So, if you look up, right, and I'm intentionally hitting your trigger,
Right.
every 5 minutes, every 3 minutes, 4 minutes hitting your trigger, what you think, like, yo, we gonna start something. Now, you and Suspect is two different dudes, two different mentalities. The reason why I know Suspect when he used to be a real asshole idiot running around the streets, right? So, I get he high strung, but, I give him some blame for it because he should have opted out of that. Period, like, this your place of work, so if you know mentally you're not ready to deal with that because it done got a little too personal, then you shouldn't just sit at the table with that.
Right.
Or just leave, or refrain from even engaging in a one-on-one.
But he was in a little bit of a weird position because he wakes up that day, sees the flyer with him and Brandon in it, and in his words, he would have felt like a bitch, and he felt like he would have looked like a bitch to the audience if he just didn't show up. Which
He got to,
the audience probably would
he
have
has to,
loved.
now he has to, listen, it's a saying I use. I'll lose 10 battles to win the war. I'd have rather lost that battle with a no-show and still been in position to show. Because now we can't even show. I'd have lost that one to continue showing.
But to be fair, Suspect could have done everything that he did throughout that entire episode. It was just that end, the spitting and the pulling out of a weapon. That was
We got
the moment where it went over
first
the
of all, here it goes. Brandon, at some point, hey, listen, bro, stop calling out youngsters like you don't understand our jungle. Don't call out no youngsters who are above 50, above 30, and you run around this motherfucker 280, 260.
Well, to be fair, Brandon got challenged to a fight by Suspect. So the idea of that,
Out of the last one.
that's what I'm saying, like, the idea that they would have any kind of physical confrontation was Suspect's idea originally.
Listen, look,
And at that time, he thought that Brandon was a regular fat guy and not a buff fat guy. He didn't know about that black belt.
What I do know is this. Who hangs around with the viral way, right? I ain't met those brothers. But
I'm bringing him on.
But
The viral way,
I know that
you were invited to the Adam and White show.
I know that they I've seen them with P Nice. Okay, so I say that to say this. And them brothers probably gonna have a conversation with dude. If they got love for dude, they gonna have a conversation with dude.
I think they've been doing that a lot.
Hey bro, know when and with who to do what with. Cause you will get your ass smoked playing. They know this. Them youngsters right there, them brothers right there, you hear what I'm talking, they better than tell. I like to hear them speak, I like their show. But dude is on a mission, but he's not understanding he has to kind of like navigate that a little different. Cause when he's playing with these youngsters, they ain't taking no losses like that. Why you